I will give you nothing. You're not going to be able to make a grip on my gi.
Good morning. This is the JP Dinnell podcast, episode 39. I am JP Dinnell, and as always, I have Lucas with me. Jiu-Jitsu is life. Now, that is a simple statement, but it is a simple statement that I feel is true. It's on a lot of t-shirts, and it's on a lot of banners, and a lot of people put on their social media, but I agree with it. Now, I personally do not make jiu-jitsu my life, but to me, it represents life better than anything else I have ever experienced. At least for the life I have lived, the life I am currently living, and how much I am able to relate to it. For others, the statement, jiu-jitsu is life, is a factual statement for them. For some, it is something they have done their whole life. And they have made it not only a lifestyle, but now they make a living, and therefore it is life to them and their loved ones. For some, they were introduced to it later in life, but found a deep connection to the sport and have made it their life. Jiu-jitsu is humbling. It is very humbling. I experienced that last night. Jiu-jitsu is humbling, which represents life. Life is very humbling. To be one of the best in the world at jiu-jitsu, to be a world champion, which not a lot of people can call themselves a world champion, will require years of sacrifice to acquire this accomplishment. To be a world champion, let alone a multiple-time world champion, who is also able to run a successful gym/business as a coach, and to be a good coach is very difficult. To accomplish this while being known as one of the top coaches who has also created multiple world champions is also very rare. To have the two things I just talked about requires a lot of sacrifice. It requires a lot of hard work. It requires intentionality. And ultimately, it requires a lot of discipline. So much sacrifice that most of the people that are world champions and or multiple time world champions with the ability to run a gym and or coach do not have successful marriages and or families. Remember, I said most, not everyone. It is actually attainable. It is attainable to have one of those threes I just mentioned. Difficult to have two of them, and almost unheard to have all three. Not many humans are able to have the accomplishments of being called a 9-time world champion, 14-time Pan American champion, a world pro champion, and a Brazilian national champion. So to be a 9-time world champion, 14-time Pan American champion, a world champion, a Brazilian national champion with a successful gym and business, multiple affiliate gyms all across the United States as well as internationally, and to have a beautiful and successful family and marriage is almost unheard of. Today it is my honor to introduce my close friend, my jiu-jitsu professor, my brother in Christ, Rafael Formiga Barbosa, who is the owner of Double Five Jiu-Jitsu. How are you, sir?
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good.
I'm doing well. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, absolutely. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and I know we've had a lot of people that have wanted you to come on the podcast, and I'm stoked we're able to do that. Lucas, what's up, buddy?
I feel like I should be at another table. That's what's up.
Like waiting for the comment.
Yeah, like with my combined lack of training, and I don't know if Professor, if you know this story. So the very first time I came to Double Fives, I had a red stripe on my white belt, but I'd heard these guys talk about you for so long that I went and I was putting on my old gi. And my wife's looking at me. She's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm trying to get this stupid stripe off this belt." And she was like, "Why are you doing that?" I was like, "One, because I don't remember all of this stuff anymore. And two, I got a pretty good indication from the guys that's not the kind of place I'm about to go to. So this thing is going away." So, yeah, I took it, I crumpled it up, and she was like, "So how does that feel?" I was like, starting over. It feels good.
Good, yeah. I know I actually know of other people who are colored belts that removed their stripes before coming and starting to train at Double Five. They're like, "Oh, I had stripes here. Nope, not anymore."
Yeah,
They took
done.
them off.
Game over.
I like the reputation. I want to keep it that way. Keep people like when go to there feel like, okay, we're going to a really good place. That's what we're looking forward.
Yeah.
Well, the reputation is very real. So, we'll just jump into this. Formiga, where are you originally from? Where were you born?
Born in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, 1983.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We're the same age.
Yes,
Yes.
1983.
Crazy. Whatever. And did you live in Rio de Janeiro most of your life?
Yes, I'm living in Rio from 83 until we moved to US 2010.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay. That's cool. Well, what was it like where you grew up? Was it a good neighborhood, bad neighborhood? Did you kind of float around in different areas?
Yeah, in Rio de Janeiro, it's kind of strange, right? I always live in a good neighborhood, okay? Nice, with my whole family. My whole family is from the same place. And then, but if you go 2 blocks up, you're gonna be a bad neighborhood. You know, like it's super close. You can be crazy rich, and then you go 2 blocks down, 2 blocks up, whatever, and then you're gonna have like a poor people around. You know, danger places. It's kind of tricky to go in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro. You know, but if you're from there, you know where you're going. It's kind of fine. Yeah.
Now, did you ever experience any problems in the bad neighborhoods or different areas growing up? Or, I mean,
yes and no. Like, as a young kid, you do mistakes, right? You go for the wrong place. You know you're not supposed to be there. And then, yes, couple times I went to some place I'm supposed not to be. But nothing really serious, but the danger is like scary. See people walk with guns, you know, like, drug dealers and stuff like that. And I just like, oops, that's not supposed to be here. Let me go away and just try to leave, you know.
so just drug dealers walking around the streets with
Walking
guns?
around, yes. If you go in the favela, like you're gonna see kids, I'm not kidding, kids like 2 or 3 years old play right by the drug dealers, like, okay, that's somebody else, you know, that they don't even care, they're not scary. It's kind of dangerous. And I do remember long time ago when we have like one affiliation inside the favela, they have the promotion bell, and all the drug dealers come to watch us promote the guys. Most of the kids is the kids from the drug dealers, right? And they super friendly, like, "Hey, how you doing, sir? Thank you for coming." Like they polite, but everybody has gun. I do remember to have there was like the scary part to be there. 16 and maybe 14 years old kids running with 2 grenades on the shoes, not the shoes, you know, the tie shoes,
Yep,
around his neck, the string, one each side. And he running inside the gym to see his brother get a promotion yellow belt. And that was crazy. Yeah. And like, for me, I like any time that can just blow. And then I asked for the kids, I said, what about this fall and just blow the guy? No, I need to pressure to unlock. I say, okay, thank you for no, like, I was super scary. Yeah.
that would be a little nerve wracking.
Yeah,
Some kid runs in with 2 grenades hanging from his chest. Like, to me, I see that, I'm like, oh, he's coming to blow up the place.
Yep.
Like,
yep.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
Did you grow up playing any sports before jiu-jitsu or in addition to?
Yes. My mommy always was like, my mom is little chub, my brother's little chub, my sister's little chub. I mean, I was the only one didn't go that way. But she always want to make sure we health.
That's good.
And then the way we grow up, we can do whatever, but it's mandatory to do at least one sport in every single day. Every single day. Like, we don't have a choice to not go for the sports. I started really early. I started really young. I was 3 years old. My mom put us to do judo and swimming lessons. And then that's how I started. The judo was my first combat sport.
Wow.
And gave me a lot of discipline. I was like, young kid, doesn't know what to do. And the judo gave him the discipline. And I do think judo has a better discipline than jiu-jitsu. You know, the way old school, they do everything like nobody can talk during the class. Everybody line up perfectly. Nobody can talk. Tie need to be perfect. The belt need to be right there. You know, and I think that like helped me a lot in my discipline for jiu-jitsu later.
So I grew up doing kickboxing and Shotokan karate under Nasser Niavaroni, and he trained Dennis Alexio, who was the world champion for a long time in kickboxing, and Nasser was that way. And now he was a very loving coach and very nice, but when you were at class, there was like you weren't like that's what you were doing. You're lined up, you were standing there, belt tied.
Yep.
There's a few times like I'd be like joking with my sister or laughing at something, all of a sudden JP push-ups or burpees, and you're like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
Dude, or like
Same thing there.
wall sits, right? Where you're like sitting out, you're like, oh.
Yeah. I did judo, and then after judo, we did capoeira. I don't know if you guys know capoeira.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, really nice, man. I do really think capoeira helped me a lot to be good in acrobatic position jiu-jitsu. You know, they're really nice. And then after capoeira, I tried soccer because everybody in Brazil do soccer. Yeah. And I never liked soccer, but I did because all my friends doing, you know. And I really tried to be part of the group, but it didn't work. And then end up start jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
That's when the steps happen.
And so how did you get involved with jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, jiu-jitsu become a big thing in Brazil about, I would say 80s, late 80s, beginnings 90s, you know. The way the family Gracie tried to grow the sport was like, okay, let's go fight on the street and show how good we can beat people, you know? That's the way they find to advertise in jiu-jitsu.
It's funny, everyone's like, oh, they're so nice. They're like, well, yeah, they are, but they were also kind of like bullies and gangsters, like just going into gyms and starting fights.
They knock it down in the gyms and say, hey, what are you doing? Karate? Okay, you want to test yourself? I'm going to show my martial arts is better than yours. And then they just go in there, say, you're the coach, let's fight. And then the guy fight, they beat the guy in front of all the students. The next day, 20 of the students go to his academy. And that's the way they start. And they go for nightclubs. And they go fight in the nightclubs to people see, oh, what they doing? Look there, you know. And they always try to get the small guy to be the biggest guys on the nightclub, you know. And the word start to spread really fast. In the point they go in the big like TV shows, and people start to call the jiu-jitsu guys pitch boys. Pitch boys in Brazil, they try to say like the dog pitch bull, right?
Oh, pit boys.
The pitch bull dogs, they build into don't allow the other dog to get close, right? And they start to relate jiu-jitsu guys like, okay, if you do jiu-jitsu, no other man can get around you because you're going to beat up the guy, you know. And then my mom didn't allow us to do jiu-jitsu. I want to do so bad. And then my mom, no, do other martial arts. That's when I started to do capoeira. She put him in the capoeira. But the same place I started to train capoeira, they have jiu-jitsu. And then one of my uncle friends start to do jiu-jitsu. Really nice guy, Mauro, his name. That's the reason I do jiu-jitsu. That's because the guy Mauro. Mauro start to go, and I want to do jiu-jitsu so bad. And he's friend with my mom, and say, Mauro, my mom doesn't allow me to do it because this and that. And he said, no worry, I'm gonna bring an extra gift for you and your brother, and then you guys do it, but don't tell her. I said, okay. And then we did it one time, and did the second time. And then we started to do for a month or two. And then what I did, me and my brother went to the guy, the owner from the gym, and said, hey, can we change our membership from capoeira to jiu-jitsu? That way we can just train jiu-jitsu. We like jiu-jitsu more. And he did it. He doesn't know. My mom doesn't know. The price was the same. He did, okay. And then one day my mom just decided to show up to see we doing capoeira. It wasn't exactly on the same time. And then she go all the way up to the capoeira place, and we not there. And she started to go down, and she saw the match, and she looked inside. It was me and my brother training jiu-jitsu. She was crazy mad. Yeah, it was bad. We was in trouble for a couple weeks. And then that guy Mauro stepped out to talk with her because she did a little scene like, what are you guys doing here in front of everybody? Was super shy. And then he stepped out and said, hey, listen, I can guarantee they're going to be fine here. You know, I understand about the pitch boys. You know, you don't want your son to be a one person like that. But here we teach you like real jiu-jitsu, you know. And luckily, I was right in the corner. I'm not kidding. From the place I live to the gym, maybe I do 20 steps, maybe 30. Wow. And then, you know who's teaching there? De La Riva. Ricardo De La Riva, Alexey Cruz, and André Dedeco. You know, like it was crazy luck. You know, I didn't know nothing about jiu-jitsu. Lucky I walked into one of the best sport I could be in the life. You know, that was great. Yeah.
3 of the best names.
Exactly. And then like De La Riva was the guy in charge, black belt, show up in that gym once a month. He used to have his academy. Once a month or twice a month, he go there help. Alexei was purple belt in that time, and the deck was just a blue belt, you know. And then we don't see a black belt in that time is like see somebody really famous, you know. We don't
it just
see,
doesn't happen.
Doesn't happen. Like maybe total in that point you have 40 black belts in the whole jiu-jitsu community, maybe a little bit more, but it was that's it, you know. And that was on 93 when I really started jiu-jitsu. And then I've been hearing about jiu-jitsu for a long time, but what really drove me in was the UFC. The first UFC when Royce Gracie beat out the big guys, the sumo guy, the boxing guy, and that was like that's what I want to do. You know, I want to be a ninja like that guy. You know, that was my thought on that day. You know.
And what's cool about that is he wasn't even the best fighter in the family.
Not even close. You
yeah,
know?
not even.
Yeah. Rickson definitely was the best one, and what I hear about Royce was the less scary one, and then people the Helio Gracie wanna like. Okay, I wanna someone who's looking normal person go there and beat the tough competitors, you know, and that was exactly what happened. It was great.
Did you ever get to train with Hickson or any of the family out in Brazil?
I fought against Kron Gracie, Hickson's son. You know, I fought against a couple Gracie's guys, Igor, a few guys, but. No, I never trained with Hickson. I talked with him, super nice. You know, after I fought a Kron Gracie, I lost for Kron. After I fought Kron, he come to me and he give me advice. Oh, next time don't let him make that grip because that's what he doing well. And that was super cool. Really, really, really nice to hear it from Hickson Gracie. You know, I saw Helio Gracie a couple times. I went to Carson Gracie Academy a couple times. You know, I was lucky to meet all those legends. Yeah.
Yeah, and so because. The connection with Dedeco and Laborio is through Carson Gracie, correct?
Yes, correct. Yes. Okay. Carson Gracie teaching De La Riva, right? Yep. De La Riva and Liborio is under Carson Gracie. Okay. And that's how we got it. And actually, the first black belt I rolled in my life was Liborio. And because of Liborio, I do my overhead sweep. Because I was a kid, 10 years old kid on the match, you know, keep bothering him. Hey, let's go. Can I roll with you? Doesn't know the rules, the politics. I just want to roll with a black belt. First time I see a black belt in my life. And then Liborio said, okay, I go with that guy. And then he just like overhead me sweeping armbar like maybe 45 times in 2 minutes. And then, I'm not kidding, he didn't take it easy at all on me. I mean, he probably take it easy, but he still kill me, you know?
That's good.
And then, because that day, I would say I want to do that sweep one day becoming my position, and that's exactly what happened. Like after that, after class, I start to do like at least 20 times each day. I'm not kidding. From 10 years old until maybe 30 years old, I did that every single day after class. 20 or 30 reps, like overhead sweep, switch armbar, overhead sweep, switch armbar, until that becoming my signature move. Like I did that a lot of times in competition.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is definitely your move.
Yes.
People call it Formiga Airlines because you're going for a flight. That's absolutely... That is so awesome, like that connection. Now, you said something unique, and I obviously don't want to be disrespectful to the jiu-jitsu community from anybody who's, you know, old school, very traditional. But you said at the time I didn't understand the rules and politics. Mm-hmm. Things have kind of changed because that really doesn't apply anymore to a lot of gyms. But could you explain that a little bit more? I know what you meant, but could you explain that to some of our listeners? Because for a while, that was a very real thing.
Yes. In the back of the day, they try to keep it really respectful for the keep respect for all the black belts on the match, right? You have a bunch of rules, like all the time you tie your belt, you never face the black belt in charge or any other black belt. Face away, tie your belt, and then you can face the guy. Before you walk on the match, you gotta wait until the guy in charge, black belt or whatever other belts they are, waiting for him to look to you, allowing you to come in, and then you bow the match. walk all the way to the guy, shake his hand. If you have any other black belt to the match, we're gonna shake each black belt hands. You know,
I like that.
Exactly. Yeah, just the black belts to show respect for all, and then after that, I can sit down and start my stretching or my warm up, whatever. And then never ask for a black belt to roll. That was the one I didn't know. Right? I go straight to Libori and say, "Hey, Libori, can I train for you?"
And what belt were you?
I was white belt. White belt, terrible white belt, you know.
I'm glad you did though.
Yes, and then he was super friendly, didn't say one single word. No, you gotta ask for your coach. Like he's the partner. He said, "Yeah, let's go, buddy." And then he trained for me and kill me. And then a few other things like try to. Oh, that one's the one people really keep that. If you mess up with that, you gotta beat up by your coach bad. If you talk about training, like kind of. If you train with somebody, that's the rules on the match. Whatever happened on the match, you stay on the match.
Oh, yeah.
Don't tell anybody, I do remember, got my yellow belt. One the guy who was a state champion as a yellow belt come and visit us, right? I was like, maybe that time I already trained for a year and a half, maybe 2. And then I rode with that guy, and I was able to beat him by points. I don't remember which point, or maybe I was getting beat up and end up submitting. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I was super pumped because I beat the guy, and then I go straight to Alexey and Dedeco. I do remember was both guys sit down, and then after the guy left, he come sit down right between both and say, "Hey guys, I gotta tell you guys something." They say, "What happened?" "Man, I just beat that guy. I'm so good." And they both like, "Hey, shut up." I said, "What?" Like, we don't need to tell anything. If you want people to see what you're doing, just make sure you do really well, because we both here watching. And the fact you tell something, you just respect your partner. Never do that again. And then Dedeco and Alexey say, "Okay, now we're gonna roll with you just to learn the lesson." And both just like one after other just smash me. And Dedeco, I know you guys know Dedeco. Dedeco is super friendly, but when Dedeco is mad, he's not friend at all. Like at all. Like I'm not kidding. I was 11 years old. Dedeco put his little knee, like 245 pounds probably in that time, right on my face and make me tap just to the knee on face to learn how to keep my mouth shut. That was the lesson I learned on that day, and I can tell you, never forget. That was the most important. Never forget about that.
I think we need more of that.
Yes,
I do think, and I love that. That's to me, as I'm hearing you say that, there are. I've always had not a problem, but it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way, the whole you're not allowed to ask a black belt to roll, because some people frame it the wrong way.
Yes.
And it's always rubbed me the wrong way. But I'm like, okay, cool. Like if that's the way your gym operates, that's fine. But I also think there's a way to do it properly. Like going, if you don't have anybody to roll with, like, "Hey, sir," or "Ma'am, hey, do you mind if we could get some work in? I would love to roll with you and learn from you." I think that's a decent way if you're going to do it. But if you're just going up like, "Hey, man, you want to roll?" and then you try to go super hard against an upper belt, you deserve to get beat down. You deserve to get beat down, and you should, show respect to that person. But what you're just talking about, like, don't talk about your matches or what's happened on the mat. To me, that's, and I've done that. I've violated it. So I know the whoopings will come now that I've told you that. But to me, it's a good reminder of humility. Like, hey, that's a learning point there. Is there, they're trying to teach you, like, hey, be humble, because okay, good, you beat that guy that one time, but how many times did you get beat by everybody else? You're not talking about those. So I think that's a really good lesson.
I do think you got it right on the point, because and that's exactly what happened to training. How many times we training and go back and forth, right? How many times you have that guy, you beat the guy for 1 month, but one day the guy go there and destroy you. That happen all the time. And what's the point to keep talking? That's training. We try to learning something. We like today, maybe you beat me because I try new technique. You don't know what I'm doing, and then you're gonna tell everybody you beat me, and that I'm gonna hit about and me. Oh, okay, you think you beat me? Let me show the real Formiga. Makes sense. Like yeah. And about the asking, things change. That's old school. I do think you're right. Now everybody asking, and then we do have the right way to ask and wrong way to ask, right? Yeah. If you ask super friendly, "Hey man, I'm a big fan of your jiu-jitsu. Can you please give me a play?" the pleasure to train against you, something like that. That's super friendly. They happy with me all the time.
Yeah, I bet.
And then we do have those guys who say, hey, you want to go with me? And then I say yes, and then he go grab the phone and give it for the friend. Hey, can you record that training? When that guy give the phone for somebody, if you want to see me kill someone, ask for the guy, hey, you want to go with you, and give the phone for somebody record. If you record the train, that means, okay, I'm going 100%. Yeah. Yes. I did one time that mistake. Yeah, I do remember that. 2012. I do remember the year. 2012. My sunburn in 2012, right? I was a little off shape. A guy come and visit us in Connecticut. Okay. Brown belt, good guy, really good jiu-jitsu. Wrestling guy. The wrestling guys doesn't have the martial arts respectful, right? They just go, And then the guy come training, and they ask you to visit me, and then, okay, you can come. Super nice guy, friendly, nothing to say about him. And he recorded the training. And then with training, I start to take it easy on the guy because he's not on my level. 30 seconds left. I try to, passing, go for passing. He guillotine choke me, and I tap. And you know what he did?
Posted that.
Add the video. I smashed the guy whole time. I didn't submit him because I was take it easy. He cut just the last minute, choke me, and post there, And then he never come back on my academy. I never rode with that guy again. I dream with that guy for a long time. I want to kill him so bad, so bad. Really, I'm not kidding.
No, I believe you.
I think if I roll with him one more time, I will be like choke up against choke, and then to prove like I was helping you,
Yeah.
But I learned the lesson that day. After that day, if you people recording, okay, I'm going 100%. I will give you nothing. You're not going to be able to make a grip on my gi. If I can, I'm going to destroy you bad. That's my rule is if somebody record me. Yeah.
My palms are sweating.
I'm going to always record my rules with Formiga. That's it.
That's amazing. Well, oh, man. Well, all right. Those are good stories. I loved it. It's funny you said like Dedeco, because Dedeco and Alexey are just such nice humans.
Yes.
I mean, my family loves them and their families, and they've always been amazing to me and my families. And when we're at immersion camp, they always take care of me. And it's funny. I haven't seen the mean side of Dedeco come out, but I've seen glimpses of it, and I'm like, oh, that's terrifying.
Yes.
That is actually terrifying. And to hear some of the old funny stories of them in Brazil, like leaving a club and some guy trying to fight them, and all of a sudden like just thinking like, oh, who are these guys? And they just wreck house, and they're like, oh, gotta go.
Yes, crazy. And that point, the Dedeco and Alexey was big families in Brazil because they high level jiu-jitsu in that time, and then the Dedeco and Alexey, man, they it's hard for me to talk about them and don't get emotional because those guys for me was the example I was looking forward to. Makes sense? Like I grew up with just my mom and my daddy got divorced when I was 3 years old. Right, I have one brother older than me, but not old enough to be my example. Right, he was just 1 year older than me, and I was looking for a man to be okay. How can I be? I want to be like someone, right? And the fact, my dad, I'm not talking about my daddy because he did his job. He provided money for my family, but he lived in another state. He could be daily with us, and then. How come I can learn something from him if he's never there, because he's working. I understand, not talking. But the Dedeco and Alexey end up being my role model, right? Both guys. And then the Dedeco even more because Alexey, after I was training with him for 2 years, he left. And the Dedeco take it over. And the Dedeco was with me from that day, from the first day until now,
Wow,
yeah, that's why like my relation with the Dedeco is something different. Like I'm not kidding. If I need to buy a car, I call the Dedeco. If I need to do any step in my life, I'm not big step, small step, whatever, the Dedeco will be my first person to, hey, what you thought about this,
Wow.
And still now, like I live away from the Dedeco the last 15 years. I was in Connecticut, a little closer, but it's still 4 hours away, 3 hours away, And then now, even further, But yeah, I talk with Dedeco at least once a week. I think I talk more with Dedeco than with my mom. You know, it's like that. That's like crazy. Yeah. That's something.
They're both great humans, and Dedeco is, always said phenomenal things about you and your jiu-jitsu. I remember when I first met Dedeco at Origin Immersion Camp and met Alexey because of Pete Roberts and those guys. I was just like, man, these are incredible humans. Incredible humans. And then when I was Dedeco, when he found out like where I was training at, he's like, oh, he's like, my number one student, Formiga, lives in that area. And I was like, oh, cool. Like I've never known, like I don't know a lot of jiu-jitsu names. And especially back then, this was 2000, I think 18. Yeah, 2018 was the first immersion camp that I went to. So I was a white belt, and it was just, I was like, oh, cool, okay, and then the next year he's like, hey, you really need to, go train there, and I just didn't make it a priority to come cross train, and you can definitely tell Dedeco looks to you like a son, 100%. Like that is, he has always talked very highly of you, and you can tell he cares about you, like you care about your students and everything, which is cool. So who gave you the nickname Formiga?
Was Mauro. You remember the guy I told you, Maurinho? Yeah. Okay, what happened in that time, they have like a big, it's a joke. They did a commercial for a big barbecue place in Brazil. And they have two guys pretending they are like, the Japanese guy is the Master Gafanhoto. And the other one is the Master Miyagi, whatever the name it was. And they keep talking with each other. And that guy tried to make a joke with me, and he started to call, are you going to be the Master Formiga? And he keep calling me. And the fellow was a little guy. The Deco started, and Alexey started to go, okay, go with the little Formiguinha. And then they start to call me Formiguinha. And then when we see, start to be Formiga. That was how they started. But it was Mauro, the guy who start talking, just make a joke with me. Every day when he go, okay, Master Formiga, come here, stay with me. And then that when Alexey start to call me Formiguinha, and then that just go. And that time, everybody has a nickname in Jiu-Jitsu. I always relate with the animals, and then I was like, okay, I take that one, like,
and that's Portuguese for ant?
Ant, yes, that's Portuguese for ant.
So originally I thought it was because of like your sweeps, just being like your back and like your legs seems like they're floating on top of you. That's what I assumed. And then I thought I had heard that it was because like as a little kid, I guess that's where it came from also, was that story, but then also you would crawl all around your instructors during class. And they'd have to tie you up sometimes with a belt.
I can tell one good one about that.
Yes.
I always mess up the class. I was a kid, right? Only kid, just me and my brother, only 2 kids in the adult class. Has no other kids, just us. And then we don't have enough to do. Everybody's matching us. We just like... people tired, you go with Formiga, go with Marcelo, that's my brother. And then we just roll when somebody's tired. Before, if nobody tired, they go. And when somebody got tired, they go with us, But it was good because they help us more because they don't want to push too much and help. And that day I was doing terrible class. Don't stop talking, mess with Alexey, keep pushing him. And Alexey was in a good mood that day. And one point, Alexey grabbed his belt and he started to wipe me with his belt. And then I didn't stop. And he wrapped me, my hands and legs together like a pig.
Yep.
And he hanged me on the punching bag place. And he left me in there for the whole class. It was about 40 or 30 minutes. It was the last 30, 40 minutes. I was hanging on the place supposed to have the punching bag for the 30 or 40 minutes. Yeah. Alexey was really mean. I'm not kidding. The deck was always super nice. Alexey, man, he was mean. He used to do like, he call, what's the name of the Santa Claus animal has a red nose?
Oh, Rudolph.
Yeah. Alexey, he said, okay, today you're going to look like Rudolph. And he get him on position me. He squeezed my nose and twist my nose until the point of my nose become purple or red. And he just stop. And the fact he does that, I have purple nose, black nose for a whole week because he's really making bruise my nose. He keep squeezing and twist my nose until they get red. And he do that once a week at least. Oh man, like it's crazy. Alexey was mean.
So when did the tables turn where you're like, oh, now you're gonna be rude off?
Yes, that was like Alexey take it long because Alexey went away. You know, the Dedeco was when I got my black belt, I start to at least do okay. But Alexey, I just trained with Alexey when I moved to Connecticut, and then we went to the Dedeco Academy, and Alexey come and meet me there. That was the first time I was able to beat him and say, okay, that's the payback, okay, old man. And that was the first time.
That's awesome. Yeah. You know, you alluded to it a little bit earlier. In regards to you know, your parents divorcing, obviously you weren't saying anything bad about your dad. It's a fact. They got divorced. Your dad moved to a different city, neighborhood, kind of, or you said different state, right?
Different state. Yeah,
okay.
He lived to São Paulo. Was like 6 hours away from where he's driving.
Okay. Yeah. That's where I met. I met your brother in São Paulo.
Yes, my brother now lives in São Paulo.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I enjoyed that trip. I definitely want to go to Brazil and go see Rio. But I'm only going with either your family, Dedeco, or Alexey. Like,
that would be a funny trip, I can guarantee.
Yeah. But any defining moments, like as a kid growing up with in a single parent household, you know, what lessons do you pull from that? Or you ever think back and you're like, wow, okay, now I understand what I was doing or what my mom was doing or why I operated or acted a certain way?
Mm-hmm. What I talk about jiu-jitsu, what I like is the most is like the fact I was a young kid, you know, my mommy has a full-time job. Could have time to take care about us because she's the only person in the home, right? My dad is sending money, but she actually got a job as well. And then I was by myself during the day, you know, like 10 years old, my mommy go work and me and my brother go back to the school. My sister in there, we eat and stay home doing nothing. You know, we could do whatever we want, you know. And most of the time you go hang with your friends out on the street, right? We don't have that much money. We live in apartments which doesn't have a playground. You need to go to the street to play soccer, hang out with friends, whatever. And it is coming Brazil every day. You hang with your friends for at least 2 or 3 hours and then have fun and go back after play, go do whatever, your sport, your activity, and then you go home and sleep or whatever, right? And then I see myself hanging a lot with my friends on the street, right? And then before that, we talked before jiu-jitsu, right? About 10 years old. I started later 10 years old in jiu-jitsu, like it was in November. I'm in January birthday, right? I started in November jiu-jitsu. That means I started jiu-jitsu maybe 2 months before I turned 11. Like right in the beginning, when I turned 10, my mom said, okay, you can hang out with your friends. And that was good. I was living in a nice place, but we did have a couple friends who is going to the wrong direction, right? We do have a few guys who go to the prison for do mistakes, you know. Few guys end up becoming drug dealers, easy way to make money. You know, some guys still doesn't work from now. We are semi-age, 40, 45 years old, and then the guys still, I go to Brazil, they still like live with your parents so far, you know. Some people take wrong decisions, and then I'm really lucky to find jiu-jitsu because that put me in track, right? And also for my mom, it was the best thing ever. I can guarantee if you talk with my mom and ask what was the best thing your son did, she will tell jiu-jitsu. I was under control kid. No, my mommy couldn't control me. Nobody controlled me because I was whatever I want to do, I will do it. You know. And the fact she's never home, it was working hard to her to keep me control. And then she find on jiu-jitsu the only way to keep me control. If let's say she wanted me to do the homework, and I said no, I'm not gonna do homework. That's where I start to do it. And she said okay. You don't need to do it. You just don't go to jiu-jitsu tonight. And I said, oh no, okay, I'm doing the homework. And then she said, okay, whatever, like you need to do the dishes. No, I'm not doing the dish. No problem. You just don't go for jiu-jitsu for the next month. And then I go do the dish. You know, like anything she needs, she uses jiu-jitsu against me, and she take everything. I did it like, it was fun because I fell in love with jiu-jitsu from day one. You can ask Alexey and Dedeco. My first 5 years, I didn't miss one single class. For 5 years straight, no miss one single class. Any day the Dedeco put a class, or Alexey put a class, I was there without questions. Like my birthday, my mommy birthday, Christmas, whatever day the academy was open, I was there. You know, I do remember the first time I missed in class was because I was sick. After 5 years training non-stop, I've missed one class because I was sick. That's how much I love jiu-jitsu. And then I still in love. Like I go for vacation. My wife will get mad sometimes. We're going for vacation. She packed my bag or whatever. The only thing, I always need to have space for one of my gis. Whatever place I go, you're gonna see one of my gi on my backpack. You know, I always have a gi, and I don't care if you stay 1 month in whatever place in the world you say. I'm gonna find one place to train jiu-jitsu. I'm gonna train at least one day, and then I'm leaving. You know, I need jiu-jitsu for leave. I really need you.
I get it. I understand. That's I get it. I understand. That's, oh man, that's pretty cool. And I just love the you know, how good jiu-jitsu gave you in regards to direction. Mm-hmm. And I've heard you tell the kids at Double Five that story, like, hey, when I was your guys' age, I didn't miss a class for 5 years. I didn't miss one class for 5 years. And it was just a reminder of these kids of, like, one, how fortunate and lucky they are to be in jiu-jitsu, but then also to take it a little more serious. And I really think that conversation, you know, changed the way our kids look at it. At least I know our daughters heard that talk. Aiden didn't, but, you know, he was wrestling and now he's getting back into jiu-jitsu again, which is awesome. But, like, it's cool. Like, our daughters, like, will be upset if we can't go. And they're like, no, I can't miss class. And we're like, hey, there is no other options. Like, we are going and doing this, and they will be in a bad mood.
Yes.
In a bad mood. And so it definitely stems from obviously how you teach, but just sharing that story. And that's to me, that's such a powerful life and leadership lesson, is sharing stories with people that they can relate to.
I agree.
People remember stories. People remember stories, and that's what they get tied back to. And because, I mean, Cora said at one time, we were like, hey, and she's like, but Dad, when Formiga was my age, he didn't miss one class for 5 years. I said, okay, well, that's awesome. We have different situations. We don't live across the street from the gym.
Exactly. I don't need anybody to take me. I just go by myself. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, there's times where she told us one time, she's like, I'll get an Uber. I'm like, oh, okay. And Noel's like, and I was laughing, and Noel's like, what? We can do that. And I'm like, I'm not saying you guys can't.
And you know, like all the time Amanda want to leave early. Just for you guys to know, Cora, she loves to do adults class. Just for the guys to hear about, Cora is JP daughter. And then she loves to do the adults class. And all the time Amanda, JP's wife, want to leave, she come to me, hey, coach, tell my mom you're gonna take me home, okay? Because that way I can stay for the adults. And then I go, hey, Amanda, I can take her home. Don't worry about. And she like, oh, she go talk to her again. she every single time she do it the same.
Yeah, it's so funny because, you know, there are times that Amanda does need to get home, but then there's other times, like, it's funny. Cora will make it seem like that because she wants to stay for both adult classes. Yes. And Amanda's like, Amanda loves being up there watching, but also sitting and talking with your wife and, you know, some of the other moms and wives up there. Like, she loves being up there. I'm very fortunate that my wife loves being at the gym.
Yes.
And I think she's going to be close to being able to come start training again. I think she's getting some injuries worked through, but yeah, Cora uses that all the time. And it's funny. And Nola will use it sometimes, but mostly Nola just wants to hang out with the
Nola
other kids. Cora wants to be training.
Yes, Cora want to kill people. Nola want to hang out, make friends. It's different. Like we said in the beginning, it's like jiu-jitsu is for everyone, but like some people has different like goals, you know. Some people want to lose weight, some other people want to be a killer, some other people want to just hang out and make friends, you know. Whatever your goal, just come to the gym. That's what we want. Just be on the gym training, you know, do whatever you need, but use the jiu-jitsu. They're going to help you definitely.
Yeah, I think Cora in jiu-jitsu, because of you and Vittoria and the other black belts, she wants to be a world champion. And also she wants to be one of... I mean, I'm sure we're going to get some comments on this. You know, there's some different interpretations of Revelations, the last book of the Bible, in regards to what's going to happen with the rapture.
I'm familiar with some of these.
Yeah. And, you know, Cora wants to be, Cora wants to stay and fight. Because she's like, Dad, I know you're staying and fighting. I want to stay and fight with you. And I'm like, okay, cool. Let's go.
do it.
Yeah, anyway, so, okay. As you got older in Brazil, before you moved to the United States, as you, wait, so you moved in 2010?
Yes.
Okay, so you were 27.
27.
27-ish. Any defining moments in Brazil as an adult, whether it's just from life or jiu-jitsu when you were in Brazil?
Yes, I did have few. Like, I do remember one bad one to look like, 2004, Dedeco decided to move to US, right? And then I saw myself bring new black belt. I got my black belt 2002, right? 2 years as a black belt. Luckily, my first year as a black belt, I won the Brazilian Nationals. Was hard to do. And Brazilian Nationals is that time was a really hard competition, And then I thought after I won that competition, my life will change. Okay, now I will become famous. Everybody gonna pay me to train jiu-jitsu with me, and bunch of private lessons, seminar. And you know what happened? A new sponsorship. You know what happened? Nothing. Nobody talk about me. Nobody come and try to sponsor me. I didn't make any money. In that point, all the conversation with my daddy start to mess my mind, right? If you guys don't know, I didn't talk too much about my daddy. My daddy is a vice president from a big company in Brazil. And then for him, becoming a successful guy, you need to make money. He doesn't relate with be happy. Like if you have a good job, provide for your family, you happy, that's cool. No, for him, if you be a winner, you need to make a lot of money and then provide more than you need for your family. I disagree with him, but anyways, and he keep it all the time. I see my dad once a year. Okay, size always 3. Like every Christmas, that's the only time we hang together. My daddy coming to pass the Christmas with us. We go have lunch with him. We stay a couple hours together, And then, like, he always, not one single time, every single time say, hey, did you give up play already? When you going to start find a real job? That's a real job. I say, and my mom, it was cool. My mom, man, glad I have my mom because I get at home frustrated about because that's my daddy. Yeah. And he maybe in that point he's right. I was 20 years old already, making maybe 1,000 reais, what nothing, and like live with my mom. He said like, hey, it's time to grow up, right? Stop play and go find a job. And I start to think, oh, he's right, because I thought when I become a champion, everything gonna change. And I start to win competition in the high level as a black belt and nothing changing. In 2004, I decided to take a break. And then I take a break and decide to like not competing. I think I competed once competition that year was the World, the only competition I did that year, and I lost my first match. And what make it even worse because I was frustrated because I lost in the first match, and then I was about to quit jiu-jitsu and try to find a real job, right? Doing college, if you guys don't know, I have a physical education degree. I was doing the college in that time, and then I say, you know what? I'm gonna start to find a job, start to work on that, personal training, whatever. Try to make some money, see how they go. But I don't know why something say, you know what? Give you one more try, and then I give it 2005. Okay, I'm gonna give it that try. That's gonna be my last year. If I don't start to make money in jiu-jitsu, I'm gonna just train jiu-jitsu as a hobby and then find a job. And then 2005 was my click. That was when my life changed in jiu-jitsu, right? I tell everybody like every single athlete has a click on each belt. When you're a competitor, right? Talking about competition, like I can ask for you guys gonna relay really well if there. Anybody that can relay. When you're a blue belt, you get a purple belt. First thought you have, my coach is crazy. I don't deserve that belt. Yep. Why he give me the belt? If I compete, I'm gonna get destroyed. I'm gonna get beat up. As you compete the first time, you do bad, but people is not that bad, not that level. I'm there. I can do it. Second time you do a little better. Third time you start to win. Fourth time you find the click. When that click, you become you again. What do you mean become you again? If every single person is able to compete the same way they training, that's the click, right? Because you used to train in one way. If you're good, That's because of the way you're training, right? That's why we talk with Victoria, Daisy, the people, João, who's training for me. The day you guys able to apply exactly the same way you guys training here on the gym, on the competition, that's going to be your click. That means you're going to become a champion from there. You know, at least doing better. Maybe not champion, but you're going to be really better competitor that way, you know. In 2005 was my click. 2004, won the guy who is on the Brazilian top team. That time, me and Dedeco, we are Brazilian top team. Dedeco 20 on the Murilo Bustamante. You know, look how lucky I was, you know, Murilo Bustamante. And then I started training for Dedeco with Murilo Bustamante. Dedeco left. I still training on Brazilian top team headquarters in Lagoa, you know. Then Murilo Bustamante, Zé Mário Sperring, Minotauro, Arona, all those legends is always there, every single one, you know. Training with all those guys, Margarida, you know, any big name you say, all those guys go for that place. And then I was there training, and then we have a camp for the world in 2004. What I lost in the first match, but I did that camp with the guy called Mario Reis. Mario Reis was a world champion in 2004, and during that camp was back and forth between me and him. But I didn't know who he is. I said, okay, no big deal. And he won the world. And I said, if he won, I can win too. And then I did it. And then 2005, we did another camp. Me and Mario Reis was together again. And that time I was beating him more than he beating me, you know. And then that year I say, man, I'm doing really well against Mario. I can do really well in the competition. And then I competing that year the way I training. And that was my first time I placed in the world. I got a 30th place at the world, lost for the world champion by ref decision. You know, was 0-0, 2 advantage for each, and the guy won. You know, that told me like, okay, I can be a world champion if I do this for leave. And that was when I said, okay, that's what I want. I'm going to do jiu-jitsu. I don't care about other job. I'm not going to switch. I'm going to just do jiu-jitsu. That was my click, that camp with Mario. And that was my click. And that when I become a way better competitor. And then that when I decided to become, okay, jiu-jitsu full-time.
So you're about 22 years old. You're 41 right now.
Yes.
So it's been almost 20 years of just let's go.
Yep.
So that's pretty incredible. And I like how you said there's a click at every belt if you're competing, but even also I think, you know, you would agree from just training, because then you feel that feel that click. You're like, oh, okay,
Yes.
things are changing. I'm getting smashed. I'm not getting smashed as bad. I'm not getting smashed as bad. Oh, that was kind of a neutral match. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh wait, I got the advantage. And in your mind, and we know almost everybody, when you are going against people that are either above you on belts or the same, most of the time you're keeping track of the points in your brain. Now you're not going to, obviously, from what we learned, don't go tell your coaches about it.
You're
right? You shouldn't do that. But you definitely are keeping score.
100%.
And that's how you know, like, oh, I'm actually progressing.
Yes.
I actually pulled guard and got a sweep and an amount, but couldn't do anything. But wow, that's, you know, and so you get those little wins. That's pretty awesome. And so for almost 20 years from that moment, 20 years, it's changed the last 20 years of your life in regards to how you view jiu-jitsu and life.
Yes.
And you saw like, oh, I can actually do something with this. It wasn't going to be given to you. And now, again, at this point, it's not like you were making all this money. You didn't have a bunch of sponsorships, but you felt like it was obtainable.
Yes.
What did you decide to do from that point on to make this a real thing?
I decided to train even more.
Okay.
I don't know how it's possible, but like that point I just trained jiu-jitsu. I grew up with Dedeco, who is not big fan to lifting, and I become not big fan lifting. If you guys know me, I don't do physical condition. I don't do anything. In that point, I say, you know what? I need to start to do physical condition. Yeah. I need to start lifting more. I need to, and then when I become a professional, I start to not just do jiu-jitsu twice a day. I do jiu-jitsu twice a day and physical condition once a day. That when everything changed, when I become another level, you know, that was when everything changed. That was 2005.
Nice.
Yeah.
So were you mindful of your diet at this time? Were you eating healthy for performance, or were you just kind of like, hey, I can kind of do what I want?
I was eating really healthy.
Okay.
Yeah. It's funny. I do remember, like, I was young guy, of course I want to have fun. I do go to nightclubs, parties, and then I take if I go, for example, in Brazil, we do a lot of barbecue during the days, right? Like a lot of parties, like, okay, my birthday. Hey guys, everybody come to my house. I'm going to do a barbecue. Everybody get drunk. Everybody stay there. And I went for all those parties, taking my salad with me. Put in the freezer, everybody eating. I sit down, eat my salad, no drink any alcohol. I never like to drink. That will be honest. I always never a guy who drink too much. I drink maybe twice a year if I drink. Most of the time I never drink.
That's
but
good.
never like to drink. But I always with my salad. My wife, when I started the Elisa in 2006, Elisa always loved to go for parties, right?
Yeah.
And then you go to all the parties, and before go to all the parties, we always stop in that place in Brazil, one of my favorite places to eat, called BB Lunches.
Mm-hmm.
And they do just healthy food. And then we always stop there, grab a salad, and then go for the party after. That was my number one place. I stop there, grab my salad, and go for the party after. And then no problem. I do exactly what everybody do. I have fun, enjoy, just don't get drunk and don't eat too much.
That's good. Yeah. That's awesome. Okay. You moved to America, you said in 2010?
2010.
Okay.
Yes.
And so you go from Brazil to what area?
Oh, I was really smart on that move, right? I went to
But you were married. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you were married.
We got married, yes.
Because
yes.
you and Elisa met in 2006. You get married, and
yes.
you're telling her, hey, let's move to America.
Yeah, it was like, I always want to live for Jiu-Jitsu. And I'll be honest, make Jiu-Jitsu live in Brazil is hard, okay? I was working as a personal training from 7 a.m. or maybe sometimes 6 a.m. until 11 p.m. And during those days, teaching all day in the class, plus Jiu-Jitsu as well, There was a long day every single day. And that's the way I met Elisa. We met each other. In Brazil, we have a lot of academies like LA Fitness, big academy, big franchise. They have Jiu-Jitsu inside.
Oh, so big franchise gyms that also have Jiu-Jitsu inside?
Like a Lifetime, those big academies in Brazil, they have Jiu-Jitsu inside. And then that's how I met Elisa. Elisa was a personal trainer in one of those places. I started to teach. And then the first day, I do remember, the manager from the gym was my friend. She was the person who is putting me in touch. Actually, I met her in Jiu-Jitsu. When I started training Jiu-Jitsu, she trained with us for a little bit, and she quit Jiu-Jitsu, but she was a manager from the academy. And she put me in touch with the owner. We decided to move to there, start teaching. The first day I went to the gym to talk with the owner to see what agreement we're going to make, how many percentage or whatever price you're going to charge. I saw Elisa on the front desk and said, man, I like that girl, And just passed by, didn't say anything. When I started to teach, Elisa was there working, and I told the manager, my friend, and said, her name is Paola. I said, hey, Paola, you know what? What I need to do to bring that girl for training Jiu-Jitsu? And Paola, really? Yeah. She's so pretty. Can you tell her to come training? And Paola, I will try. And Paola go talk to her a week later, whatever. And then Elisa said, oh, I can train you, but I don't have a gi. I don't want to spend money. I don't like Jiu-Jitsu that much. I spend whatever money for the gi. And I was sponsored by a Tam. I have a bunch of gi. I said, no, that's no problem. Give the gi to her. I never talk to her. Give the gi to her. And then Paola give the gi to her. And the next day she start training. And we start today, maybe a month later. Yeah, it was
That's cool.
Yeah.
How long did you guys date before you got married?
We date from 2006 until 2009.
Okay.
3 years. Yeah.
Okay, so you get married in 2009, and then the next year you're like, hey, we're moving to America.
Yeah. I told Elisa, my dream. We always have a conversation. She's already, Elisa is 6 years older than me.
Okay.
And then we always have the conversation, what are you doing what do you want to do in the future, We have that talk. I say, man, I want to do Jiu-Jitsu for live. And to do Jiu-Jitsu to live, we need to move away from Brazil. I'm not kidding. I was in Brazil. I have about almost 200 students, 180 students, making maybe 2,000 reais, well, I mean $500. It's like crazy. No way you can provide for a family in Brazil.
That's unreal.
Yes, because what they do, those academy, they want to keep 6%. They give you 40% to us. They do nothing, but they want a big percentage because they provide the space and everything. And then nobody making money. It's hard to make money in Jiu-Jitsu in Brazil. And then I told her that's for her. And then I was here 2008, maybe 2007, competing. And then I was teaching a seminar, and she called me. Her mom died I was here U.S. And then I said, hey, baby, I'm going back tomorrow, just give me a time. I want to be there for the funeral, blah, blah, blah. And then I say, do you need anything from me? Can I help you somehow? And say, yes. Can you talk with anybody, any single person there? I can, because in that point, I already live with Elisa. Her mommy has anxiety. She lost little by little the emotions from her body, right?
Oh, wow.
When I met Elisa, her mom started to fall in the street. She started to losing the muscle from the leg. And we don't know. Like, you just thought, oh, she tripped, and start to happen more often. And then 1 year later, she doesn't move her leg anymore. And then she started losing the motion with the arms. And then I moved it in because it was Elisa and her brother helping the mom. But they, when her brother go to work, they needed some other person to help carry the mom to the places. When Elisa couldn't handle her. And then I start to be the help. And then I just moved in and start to live with her. We already living together in her house. And then she said, I just can't stay in my house anymore. I can't. Everything I see, that was the first and maybe the biggest love of Elisa until now. You guys, know her really well.
Oh, yeah.
You see how, actually yesterday was 16 years when her mom died. Was yesterday, the birthday. I don't know how to say that.
Yeah. The
anniversary for the day she died.
Yesterday was?
Yeah, yesterday.
I could tell something was off slightly.
You see, right?
Just a little bit.
Every single day, and that day she's really down. She always remember about her. And then and she just say, I just can't. And luckily I was teach a seminar, and then the guy see my face change, and I say, hey man, my wife's mom just died. And he said, what you can do to help? I say, I don't know. She asked me to move to here, but I don't know how I can make that happen. The guy said, I can help you. I say, how? You can move to here and teach at my place. I say, okay, really? Yes. Okay. Let's start. I wasn't talking. I speak in English. Somebody translate. That point I was just speak Portuguese. The guy, one person translate for us.
Wow.
And that guy name is Match Bryars. That's my godfather in Brazil, in US.
Yeah.
Because that guy, I'm here now. That guy close his eyes, signing all the documents do I need without know me. He never see me before. I was there working, teach a seminar for 2 hours. That's the only, he knows me for 2 hours. And that guy literally signed a paper who say, if Rafael Barbosa do any mistake in US, you go to the jail with him. He signed that document. And that's how I moved to US. Because if you guys don't know, when you move from Brazil or any other country to US, you not legally can work here. To work here, I need to apply for work visa or green card, right? And first I apply for my work visa. To have a work visa, I need to have a sponsor guy. And he was my sponsor. Matt was the guy who signed. I was in Brazil and say, just send me any paper. I sign whatever you need. Just move to here. I need you here. And he signed the paper. And I was on his academy next week after, And then I was like, I tell him all the time. Actually, I was talking with him because I'm going to his academy next month. I tell him all the time, without you, I will be here, because I will never move to here. If somebody say, okay, move to US and stay illegal in there, you never come back to Brazil, never gonna see your family again. I will never move to here. But the fact he signed that document allowing me to now I'm illegal in US, I can do whatever I want. That was the only reason we moved to here, and that was.
Where is his academy?
He's in Connecticut.
Okay.
Yeah, he has academy in Cromwell, Connecticut. Now he's one of my black belts, and then he has one Double Five affiliation.
Okay.
Yes.
Man. Well, what's the name of his gym? So if anybody's out in that area, they can go show him some
Jiu-Jitsu strength conditioning. That's
okay.
Yeah, Jiu-Jitsu strength conditioning. Yes.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yes, super nice guy. One of my best friends so far. We have a really good relation. Of course, I love that guy to the death. I will do anything he asked me to do. Just the fact he did everything I asked him to do.
That's unreal.
Yeah, and look, my first guy bought he signed up under his name. And the guy, when he signed the document by the guy said, "Oh, that's not gonna be for you. No, that's for him." And the guy tried to make a joke, and the guy said, "Hey, you know, if he kills someone, you go to the jail." He said, "I know, I don't care. He can kill. For him, I go to the jail." He said that for the sailor. You know, there was something like, I will definitely not do that for any person. You know, maybe my kids, but not for anybody else. You know, yeah.
That's unreal.
It's just interesting to me to like see how God is like orchestrating all of these things in your life in these moments, like before you were even like in relationship with Him, kind of bringing all of these things together is pretty cool.
Yeah. So you come to America. Was Elisa a little nervous? Were you a little nervous with that move?
Man, Elisa, I will tell something about Elisa. She is definitely my strength for everything. Okay, I don't want to move. I was super scary. I said, man, how come? First, you know how much was my salary when I moved to US? $800. That's my salary. That's the only money I have every month. $800. That's it. You know, and then like, okay, how can I bring money to my house with jiu-jitsu and just make my first rent was $1,000. And then I added $200 down, you know, like, okay, how can I make the rest of the money to bring food for the table, gas in my car, you know, and do everything. And then, I don't know, I just say, Lisa, we're gonna fail, we're not going. Let's stay. She said, no, we're gonna find a way. Let's move. And then we did move, and then we find a way. If you ask me every single month how was, I have no idea. But every single month, God give it to us a way to pay all the bills and still have money to eat. Every single month something new. Oh, this month was a private lesson. Next month was a seminar. Other month was a work as a referee. Other month somehow somebody borrowed me money and I didn't need to worry about to pay back the guy because the guy said, no, you can keep. You know, like, it's crazy. Like, God put it one day after day, somebody new in my life to help me somehow. And then I start to, you know people, do my job. People start to know me better. And then I start to make more money, start to make more connection, teach more, work more. And then now I'm here.
Yeah. And that took years.
Years
to get to that point.
And that's what I tell people. People coming now, we you know.
I just want that
exactly.
instant.
People coming from Brazil and think like, oh, I'm gonna move to US and then I'm gonna buy a house, buy a car, and be a millionaire. No, man, it doesn't work that way. That definitely don't work. If you find that way, please teach me. I need to learn that way. Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. So you're living in America. You're living in Connecticut. So which is about 3.5 hours from Dedeco.
You're right.
Okay.
Yes. The first place I live in Connecticut was 3.5. The second location I moved was to Cromwell, close to that gym. Mm-hmm. First, I live in Danbury. Okay. That was because I have a friend who is living there. I live with that guy for 3 months, and then we shared the house. And then, but Cromwell was 1 hour away, and then Cromwell was my main academy. And then we decided to move it to Cromwell to be able to be close to the gym, and also was close to the Dedeco, an hour less. And then was from 3 hours and a half to 2 hours and a half drive to the Dedeco Academy. Yes.
And so every Friday.
Every single Friday.
For how many years?
For 5 years straight.
So every single Friday for 5 years straight, you would drive to go train with Dedeco. Mm-hmm. And that's when you first met Pete Roberts?
Yes, you're right.
And so, Pete Roberts would drive 3.5 hours.
I think for him, maybe 4.
Yeah, I think it was 3.5 to 4 hours.
Yes.
So Pete Roberts would drive 3.5, 4 hours south. Mm-hmm. You would drive 2.5, 3 hours north.
You're right.
Every Friday for 5 years without missing it, just so that you guys could have high level training under Dedeco.
Yes.
And you guys would take what you learned from Dedeco that day, bring it back to your academies, teach it that night, and build upon it that whole week. Correct?
You're right.
Unreal.
And more important for me to, first, of course, I need your high-level training.
Yes.
And then Alexey come with it. Alexey doesn't come every single Friday.
Yeah.
But every other week, Alexey was there as well.
Because it was a drive for him as well.
Yeah, because they come together with Pete. You know, Pete, they live close
Pete
from each other.
Pick up Alexey, they would drive. Yes,
that's right. Yes, they come together.
And if
then-
Alexey had an attitude, Pete would just leave him at the front door. That's
Yes,
why he only came
yes,
every other week.
yes.
Because Alexey was mean. That's what we learned.
Right.
And then
love Alexa.
and then we drive together, and then Peter become really like Peter was on that level when he started with us, but I do believe smart people learn jiu-jitsu better than us. Let's say us. I'm a sports guy, not a smart guy. Peter is the smart guy.
Peter is brilliant.
Yes, and then he was like 2 years was like okay purple belt to like high level brown belt in 2 years. You know,
Won
high
Abu Dhabi championship, right? As a brown belt.
He won the trial, and then he went to the Abu Dhabi official Abu Dhabi, you know, and then like it was something like and he fought with high level guys and give you a hard time for Xande Ribeiro, you know. He was legit, no joke. Yes.
Unreal.
And he quick after what make me super mad because he has that much but I understand was for a good reason. That was when Origin start to kick it in, you know, and then they start to make money, and he take okay, I need to take decisions, be more on my job, and then he end up quick competing.
So I'm very thankful that he did, because had he not done that and built Origin and had the connection with Dedeco, I would have never met them at the time that I did, because somebody connected Jocko and Pete together.
Yes,
They sent Jocko a rash guard.
I do remember that. I was responsible by then that time.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they sent Jocko a rash guard, and it was in 2017. We were in Austin. It was July of 2017. We were in Austin for Muster 003, and Lave, Jocko, myself, and a few other instructors. Dave Burke, I believe, was there, and I think like Flynn when he still worked with us, and his wife Jamie, who was our CEO. We went to like this wave surfing place in Austin, right, where they generate waves and you can surf on them. So we went there, and Jocko had this awesome rash guard, and I'm like, dude, that's crazy. He's like, yeah, dude, this crazy guy Pete up in Maine is like, it's American made. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, you know, I'm supposed to meet with the guy. He was just like casual little, oh yeah, you know. And then from there, that's what the relationship stemmed. The next year I'm at immersion camp. I'm hearing about you. The next year I'm there, Dedeco, boom. And then when I believe it was in 2020, that's when I helped Jocko Fuel build out their affiliate program and their wholesaler program for Jocko Fuel. And that's when Dedeco was like, hey, can you get Formiga set up as a wholesaler? And then I got you set up as a wholesaler.
Yep.
And then you were like, hey, if you wanted to come train. And I think it was in 2001-ish, because things were still kind of slow. And, you know, my schedule was a little weird. And I was like, oh, I can actually do these noon classes. And I came in cross-trained, and I was like, oh, okay. And it was just from that moment on that we had the connection. I was cross-training with you for, I think, 9 months to a year-ish, I think, or something along that time. And that's when I decided, okay, I needed to switch and train under you full-time. And because we had the business relationship with Jocko Fuel and the connection to Dedeco, and it you know, and for my family moving up in the area, it just made sense. And you know, and I remember when I went and told my professor, he's like, no, that's where you should be, and you're always welcome to come train here. And it was a really good transition. I was a little nervous because I had never done that before, and I was like, I don't like drama. I don't like fighting. I don't want to deal with that. And you had talked to me about it. And I remember you going, I can go talk to your professor if you want. And I initially heard that. I'm like, oh, no, we're not doing the fight challenge thing. You know? But I realized that's not what you meant. You're like, hey, he's a good guy. He can come train with us anytime he wants. And I was like, oh, this is what it's supposed to be like as a sport. And my professor, my old professor Ball, he was awesome. He was like, yeah, hey, that's where you should be training. That's awesome. Hey, they're welcome to come train here anytime also. And so it was really cool to see that connection. But you get that from Dedeco. That was taught to you. Like how you conduct your business was taught to you from the interactions with Pete and Alexey and Dedeco, and seeing, oh, there's a good way and a bad way to run business.
100%. Yeah. Dedeco actually, in my opinion, one the smart guy to run a business. You know, he's crazy. I don't know if you guys never went to his facility. He has like, I don't know, 15,000 square feet, something like that, right?
I think they've expanded it again.
You're right. Yeah, they got the second floor now. Yeah. And then the Dedeco has 700 students in one location. It's crazy, unbelievable. I think I'm really good. I have 250 students, and he has 700 students. It's unbelievable, yeah. And actually, the Dedeco, like, he's still teaching the classes. He's like, 50 years old and then doing everything he's supposed to do. That's really nice. Really nice.
It's awesome. And, it's cool is because he's, used the principles that we teach at Echelon Front to develop, he's invested into it. He had us do a big full day seminar at his gym a couple years ago where he had all of his instructors and his students and then surrounding PD and fire department come. And, there was, I think we maxed it out at it was a little over 100 people in his gym, but he had it set up. And yes, like you said, he does everything that he should, but he also has the ability. It's been nice to see him over the last couple of years step back a little bit.
Yes.
And be like, no, actually, I'm not going to teach that class because I'm going to go to my son's football game. Yes. I don't have to teach a class because I have all these black belts that are more than capable. And that's what you've been slowly starting to transition as well, right?
I want to do exactly like he did. What he did was, on the schedule, he not teach any class, but he teach out the class. Like, he's on the gym. Gym. He say, hey, JP, I teach today. Go home. And then he go teach. The next day, hey, Lucas, I teach for you today. Go home. And then he pick one class or two, and he just tell the guy, it's a day off. Go back home. I can teach there. And he do every day at least 2 or 3 classes.
And he still pays them. It's not like
you're not getting paid.
It's sending people home.
Could you imagine?
This place sucks. And most of the time, the guys stay and do the class. Man, of course I will do your class today. I'm here, man. Like, I want to learn from you. And then like I told people, the last time I was there was in December in his seminar. I did a seminar in his academy for promotion bell, and I told people, you guys have no idea how much I will pay to be here every day and learn from the Dedeco. Yeah. I will do everything possible if for the Dedeco move to Texas and live an hour from me. I will train with the Dedeco every single day. I will drive 1 hour easily. I will make time. If he teach, only class I teach will be 7 p.m. I will cancel the class on my academy, but I'm going there.
I'll teach it.
I will let Lucas teach. Whatever. I will put somebody to teach, but I will definitely find a way to teach under him. I miss it so much to have the opportunity to just sit down and be taught by him. That's like a thing priceless for me. Like, I would do everything possible.
Well, I will say there are a lot of guys that feel that way about you. I know you're not going to say that. I will say there's a lot of people that feel the same way about you, to the point.
I think it's an example, right? The Dedeco is a good example, and
He's a great example.
I just do exactly like him. And it's funny because, I will tell few things, and look there how funny it is. The Dedeco never talk. We never talk about who is gonna be your wife, for example, right? The Dedeco's wife, Annie, she's 5 years older than the Dedeco. She's older than the Dedeco, right? No, I'm wrong. Sorry. Yeah, but she's older than the Dedeco. I don't know how long, but the Dedeco has 2 kids. I have 2 kids. The Dedeco have 2 dogs. I have 2 dogs. Now I got the 31, but I always have 2 dogs. The Dedeco do Jiu-Jitsu for live. I do Jiu-Jitsu for live. Every single thing the Dedeco does, I do the same without never, you got to do exactly like I do. Like, the Dedeco never said that. It's just natural for me to copy him because, that's the guy I'm looking. And when I see, why am I doing exactly like the Dedeco, and then sometimes I don't want to do it. I mean, stop copying him, but I do,
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he has the formula for success, and all those guys. Alexey, doesn't have as large of a gym, but the culture at both of their gyms is unreal.
Exactly.
People will do anything for Alexey. People will do anything for Dedeco.
And let me talk about Alexey too. Alexey doesn't have more students just because that old man doesn't want to work more. He told me, Formiga, I just want to teach 2 classes a day. And that's what I will do. That's why he doesn't have more students, because he limited his academy in that 2 class. But the day he decide, okay, I'm going to open more class, kids class, adult class, morning class, he's going to blow the academy, because his potential, his teaching, his expertise is amazing, unbelievable,
Unreal.
Just he's happy with what he have,
And that's awesome, because that's a great example of success.
Yes.
He is happy. He has his bills paid for.
That's the goal.
He has a nice piece of property and a house, and he has a good, reliable vehicle. He has a young, beautiful wife that he's happy. You know what I mean? He's happy.
One time I asked, why you still live with your mom? He live with his mom. He building a house inside his mommy house, right? And then he say, I love my mom. I want to stay close. And I say, man, I'm jealous because I wish I have my mom in my house. You know, I wish it so bad. Now, like, my mom coming Monday. Today's Thursday, right? My mom coming Monday to here. I'm super excited. First time she come to Texas. You know, I'm so happy to have her in my house. You know, like I start to move all my things. Like, okay, I'm not gonna teach that day. That way I can spend a whole day with her. I want to show how good I'm doing here. You know, I want her to feel proud of me. You know, like it would be the first time she come and see, like, okay, that's your academy. Oh, that's cool, son. You know, oh, that's your house. That's so nice. You know, I want her to see what she make me be. Like, I'm that person because of her. And then the fact she make me be that person, and I believe she can be proud to, you know, that's my son, that's good. You know, I want her to do that, you know.
So I
have that feeling.
I can tell you she already has that feeling.
I mean,
like, she doesn't have to come see your house or your academy to be proud of you. I know she is proud of you because of the man that you are, the father that you are, and the husband that you are. Like, I guarantee you, I would bet every single dime I have that she is proud of it. She doesn't need to see any of that. It's going to be cool for her.
Yes,
She's going to be like, oh, this is cool. This is cool. She don't care about that. Like, she's just like, because, you know, and I understand because there is that, like, when I moved, I was like, cool, I want my parents to come see my new house because it's my first house I've ever bought. And I was, you know, proud of it. You know, we've been saving, and, you know, I've had, you know, just very fortunate circumstances. You know, but I obviously, you know, your mom is very proud of you. And to go back to, like, what we're saying about the way you look at Dedeco, I mean, your students look to you that way because of the example. I mean, you teach how Dedeco teaches. You pick the roles. You're very good at names. Dedeco's very good at names. I'm like, hey, buddy, how are you? Like, to somebody I've known for 3 years, I have a really bad time retaining names. You're phenomenal at it. There's a method that you guys have. Dedeco, you know, and Alexey, you know, taught you that, which is crazy. Yes. And that's why you have people that will drive 90 minutes one way to come train.
Yes.
And how many gyms are they driving past on the way there? Dozens. But, and I always like to share that story of you and Pete, what you guys did every single for Friday for 5 years, when people are like, and I'll tell them about a gym, whether it's Double Five or another good gym in the area. They're like, I don't know, man, it's about 30 minutes away. And I'm like,
yes.
And I won't say what I want to say. I'll say, oh, you know, hey, let me tell you. And they're like, oh, I'm like, yeah. People used to have to drive hours and hours to find a good black belt.
And just for keep clear, look at what you're doing. The class is at 12 o'clock, right?
Yep.
I have 3 hours and a half, 2 hours and a half drive. That means I leave always 4 hours ahead because we hit some traffic. It's Friday. Friday I was terrible. I used to drive a car. Okay, I have a 1997 green Saturn. You know, you guys have, you know, Saturn.
Oh, yeah.
Ugly, the ugly car I ever have in my life, but it was $700.
Yeah.
And with that car, I drove it for 5 years. I mean, I bought an other car when my son born in 2012, but I keep that car for myself, and I bought another car for my wife. And then was like that for like with that ugly and dangerous car, because we're talking about New England, right? New England, they have snow. We're talking about for 5 years in the winter time as well. It's snowing, but the roads in there is really good. It's
they have a really good infrastructure for
yes,
the winter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We just
Not
go.
like
No, definitely no. It's like I'm talking about 3 or 4 inches snow, and you're still able to drive in the highway easily. You know, no problem with the Saturn. Was a terrible car for the snow, but in the highway I'm fine. The only problem when you go in the side roads, they're kind of little slippery, but in the main road I'm fine. You know, and I still drive there to go there.
What was it like coming to Connecticut? What was your first?
Man,
what was your first winter like? I mean, you lived in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, your whole life.
Because like my whole life, I watching snow on the TV, right? Like the Christmas time, all the TV show has the snow. I never see snow before until I moved to Connecticut. The first year was amazing. Oh, I love snow. Yeah. That's so cool. But I didn't know how hard it is to live in the place with snow. It's not just cold and painful. It is like give you an extra time. Here's an example. If I teach a 6 a.m. class, I can wake up 30 minutes before and just go teach now here in Texas, right? In there, I need to wake up at least an hour and a half before, because it takes me at least 30 to 40 minutes to clean up my car, clean up my garage, to be able to pass with my car to go to the highway. Mm-hmm. You know, just take me 40 minutes to be able to take my car from my garage to the street, you know, and people don't realize in the cold snow, be outside, take the snow from the windows, clean up the streets to be able to go, you know. People don't realize how painful it is there, you know, and that was like definitely really bad. Like after 2 years living in Connecticut, every single winter, I start to get a little depressed. And then what happened, we go to Brazil. We stay a month in Brazil to recharge my batteries. What great because it was winter time in Connecticut, but it's summertime in Brazil. You know, stay 1 month in the hot weather in Brazil, go back and then go back to work again. That was the way we find it to keep going there. But besides the second year, I start to looking for another job because I don't want to stay there anymore. And then luckily I find it here in Texas. I moved to here.
Wow. Who brought you to Texas, or how did that come about?
João Gabriel Rocha.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
He's my, if you guys don't know, he's my black belt, one of my best students. And then João moved to Texas because he met the, I introduced him to Chris, the guy who is on the Gamenes. And then he became a sponsor athlete by Gamenes as well, the same way I was in that point. And then João and Chris asked for João, what I can do to help you. He said, bring Formiga to here. I need you, my coach, to have close to me. He said, okay, I will bring him. And then we start to negotiate, and that's the way I moved to here.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Man, that is extremely powerful.
Yes. And João is the same way I am with Dedeco. He is with me.
Yeah.
He married with an old lady because I'm married with an old lady. He wanna have 2 kids. He wanna have 2 dogs. Exactly the same way.
Yeah,
we just passed through.
See, I didn't even know this all those years, but somehow I was going to be connected to you guys, and I married an older lady too. Although I have 3 kids, but you know, we have 3 dogs.
Yes.
So whatever, we're matching kids to dogs like you guys are. Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome. What let's switch it up real quick in regard. So obviously over the years, growing as an adult and as a businessman, you know, I mean, there's, I'm sure, books that you've read over the years and just different resources for your growth and your development. What are some of the different types of books that you like to read, and or like what would you recommend?
I read a book. Soon I moved to here, to Texas. Okay, I read a book, and that was nice open mind for me. Remember I told you guys I grew up with my daddy working a big corporation job, right? And then in my mind, the only way to become rich and make good money be in the corporation job, right? You need to like find a big company, follow directions, or become a doctor, become a lawyer, something like that, right?
Yeah.
In my mind, in no way you can be rich doing jiu-jitsu. No way you can be rich open your business, you know. And that book do I read called let me see the name, Rich Dad Poor Daddy
by Robert Kiyosaki.
Yes, that book crazy opened my mind, you know, because he just explained completely the opposite, right? No, you don't need to be in the corporation job. Actually, if you're in the corporation job, you're not gonna make a lot of money. You can make good money, but to become rich, you gotta be, you know, have your business, you know, find a way, find a way to make more money, create something new, and that's the way you're gonna make real money. Right?
That's awesome, and I love that you are seeking that knowledge still with the mindset of money doesn't equal happiness. You're like, now I would like to have money to provide for my bill. I provide for your family, your bills, you know, able to tithe to the church. That's what Amanda and I love. Is like, you know, we give to charities and ministries and to our church very generously. And we try to do the same for other people in our lives, because 7.5 years ago, we had zero. And I know you know that. We had zero, you know, like forms of income coming in steadily. I mean, it was bad, you know, and my parents helped us out multiple times. Her parents helped us out more times than we can count. And the only reason why I say that is because we lived near, you know, my in-laws, and they would have us over for dinner knowing that we didn't have a lot of groceries, and we'd go eat dinner with them. And then my mother-in-law would pack up all the leftovers and send them home with us, and we would eat those the next day. And, you know, my parents, you know, if they're, you know, in town visiting, that, you know, they'd take us to dinner and they'd go grocery shopping for us, and my dad would leave us checks and stuff like that. And so I've definitely very thankful to my parents and my in-laws for all the help that they gave us, and Amanda's aunt did the same, you know. And so that's always kind of been my driving thing is like, I want to be able to help other people. I want to be able to, if I had a friend call up and say, hey man, I'm not going to be able to make this tax payment, or I'm not going to be able to do this, I'll be like, okay, well, let me talk to Amanda and see what we can do. And sometimes maybe we can take care of it and we'll figure out a payment system where you pay me back 0 interest, or it's like, hey man, I can't do this, but this is what I can do. I've always, wanted to do that. And I know you're very generous with that as well. Like you help people. But what I love, I remember one time, and there was somebody that we knew that needed some help with something, and I was like, yeah, I can help. And you're like, no, I want them to earn it. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm good with that too. But I was like, okay, cool, I'll help. And he's like, no, I want them to earn it so that they understand you need to work for it. And I was like, yes, sir. Awesome. Like that's what we need.
Yeah, that's the way my mom teach me really well. I do remember when I was young, like I would say maybe 14 years old, 15. My mommy went to a hard time make money. And then she doesn't have time to money to pay jiu-jitsu for us anymore for 1 year maybe. And then I do remember to have that conversation. Hey, Dedeco, we need to stop jiu-jitsu because my mom doesn't have the money to pay. We're gonna take a little break. At that point, we thought it was gonna be a month or maybe 2 months, And Dedeco come to me and say, no way, you're not gonna stop. You and your brother gonna keep training. That's on me. Don't worry about, And then I do remember how important it was that for me. And I do remember to get back home and say, hey, mom, Dedeco said this, we can keep training. I'm so happy. I don't need to quit the jiu-jitsu, blah, blah, blah. And she said, okay, but you're not going to accept that. I said, what do you mean? No, you're not going to train for free. I said, man, what are you talking about? No, you're not going to accept that. For you to do this, you need to work for him. Find a way. You don't need to ask him. Go to the gym, see what they need to be done, and you're going to make it there.
Dude, your mom
and then amazing. I say, what do you mean? And she said, clean the mat, clean the bathroom, take toilet paper to if you see doesn't have toilet paper, clean the fans, clean the ceiling, do whatever he needs to do, helping him the private lesson, helping him the class, stay there, wash his gear, whatever you can do it for him. Wow. I say, okay, and that was the lesson I learned. Like, I will keep, I need you, I will take, but not for free. I will take it and somehow I'm gonna pay back, whatever way I could do it, I did, I definitely did everything to help Dedeco, like crazy things, whatever he asked me, I will, okay, and Dedeco is crazy. I have a funny story about that. Dedeco, one time, I was 14 years old. Dedeco has in Brazil, nobody has a pickup trucks, right? Dedeco has a big pickup truck, and really nice one, beautiful. In that point, if you're a jiu-jitsu fighter, you have a pickup truck, you're the guy. Dedeco has one beautiful one. And his daddy needed somebody to grab his car in 1 hour away from the place we live. And the dad come, hey, what are you doing? I say, nothing, Dad, I'm home. What do you need? Do you know how to drive? I say, I drove one time. I say, okay, let's come with me. He picked me up at home. We go all the way to Barra da Tijuca, was 30 or 35 minutes away from us, 40 minutes away from us. We drove all the way to there. I say, okay, what car you want to drive? I say, what do you mean? His dad has a BMW, the dad has a big range. I was a poor kid, doesn't have no way to pay if I crunch the car. Drove the car one time in my life, maybe twice. He said, you're going to drive back to home. I say, Dad, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, just jump in the car. Never drove an automatic car in that time. Jump in the car and say, look, you're going to follow me. Just follow me. Do whatever you need to do. That's the brake, that's the gas. That's what you need to know. Just go.
Oh my
and then,
God. How old were you?
I was 14 years old. And in Brazil, you only can start to drive as 18 years old. No, you don't have a permit for 16, just 18. And he gave me the car. He jumped in his car, grabbed his phone. He doesn't care about me. He grabbed his phone and started to talk with his friends on the phone. And I was sweating in the car, looking, following him. Did a lot of mess. I go over the curbs, a lot of mess. But we make it. Didn't hit the car, didn't scratch the car, and then we make it. That was my first drive lesson from the Dedeco. That was the way.
Yes. What a legend.
That is absolutely
unreal.
Yes.
Oh, that is incredible. And it's funny.
Just like threw you right out on the roadway. Not like, here's
Crazy.
the keys, go
And-
drive out on the
In
farm.
parking lot.
And
Yeah,
it is
right.
like
Sealed.
up the hill, down the hill, because that from Tijuca to Barra da Tijuca, we have a place called Alto da Boa Vista. That's a mountain. You go up and then you go down to go to the beach. And then was super hard driving.
Terrifying.
It's really hard. And I said, Dedeco, can we go from all the way? Because I don't know if I can go that way. You're gonna be fine. Just follow me. And okay. And who is I gonna? I'm not gonna say no. I just okay, coach. Here we going. Let's go. And then I just did.
Wow.
Oh, that is that's amazing.
That's stressful.
That is stressful. Do you have a favorite Bible verse or story from the Bible that, throughout your life you refer back to? And then obviously, in the last year and a half, coming to milestone, things have shifted as well. But
Yes. I do have one. Let me grab it, tell you. Okay. I make a note there. Do you want me to read it there or just say
sure.
the-
You can
okay.
read it. Yeah.
Okay. Let me find it here. All right. I like John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only son, that one that believe in him should not perish, but to have eternal life. Yes, that's the one I really gotta relay. And then, for who doesn't know, I grew up in the Catholic Church in Brazil, going to, I would say once a month to, with my mom. And then as a teenager, I just stopped. You go to the church. I always pray. I always talk with God. That was always on me, okay?
Yeah.
In my way. The way I pray is not the normal way, I just like talk with God. That's my pray. Every night before I sleep, I ask, say thank you for God for what they provide me that day. And then try to talk about the next day, the expectation, what you can do to make it better. Just a little conversation. The same way I do all the time I competing. If you guys ever see me competing, before each match, I drop on my knees right on the corner of the match, pray to make sure nobody get injured in the match, and then to be able to do what I do every day, just do my best. I'm not asking for winning. I'm not asking to help. I just asking him to allow me to do my best on that time. That's the only thing I pray. Before match, I did that for my whole life, And then a year ago, I passed by a hard time, and then I start to look for more help than I really used to have, right? It was a hard time. I got a little anxiety about, I didn't know at that time what it was, JP was there, was the first person to help me. I got back, can I tell that?
You can tell whatever you want.
January this year, every single year when I go to Brazil, when I leave Brazil, it's a hard time, right? We leave the love in there, right? My mom, my grandma, my friends, my hometown,
Yeah.
And then, but every single year I go there, recharge my batteries, coming back strong, and just like, it's always a little sad to say bye, but a few hours later, I'm fine, normal life, keep it going my life, right? In that year, like, what is now, 2024, I don't know what happened, something changed. I was in the airplane, feeling like something strange on me. I have that feeling like something bad gonna happen, inside me something. And then we fly by standby, we don't have seat, all right? They give us any seat. Unfortunately, at that time, they give 3 seats for my wife and my 2 kids. They stay together, and I stay away by them. What make it even worse, because in front of my kids, I try to be strong and don't show what happened, just like that, like I don't want to show how I feel strange, I just like, but I told my wife, I don't know what's wrong with me, something wrong, I don't feel right, and then I couldn't be on one spot. I was in that, Brazil to here, take about 12 hours. I was walking probably like 8 hours in the airplane straight, walking back and forth. I don't know, something wrong with me. We got here, still not feeling good. Try to sleep, didn't sleep well, but sleep. The next day we take the kids to the school. So I drop my kids in the school, boom, something happened. I got some anxiety, like I always thought about like I have a heart attack. That's what I thought. And then JP, who is never call me, we talking a lot in the gym or by text message. I don't know what happened. JP decided to call me that time. Right on that time, I have it there. And he said, hey man, how you doing? I don't know why. I see your face. I decided to call you. I said, man, I'm going for a bad time. He say, I'm 2 minutes from your house. JP lives 25 minutes away from me. I'm 2 minutes from your house. I will stop by. He knocked my door maybe 30 seconds after he turned off the phone. And then he doesn't ask me anything. He hug me and pray. And then the anxiety go away. Just go away. Exactly like that. I'm not kidding. My wife tried to calm me down, but I couldn't find a way to calm down. If I sit down, I want to stand up. If I stand up, I want to sit down. I'll feel so hot. It was cold time. January was cold. I was feeling crazy hot. I want to take my t-shirt off. I want to take my pants off. I don't feel any comfortable position. The point I want to go to the hospital just to see if I calm down. And soon JP stop praying, that go away. Go away. And then that day I say, okay, I need to be more involved with religion again. I think that's the time to get close to God. And then we start to really go every Sunday. I think maybe if I miss 2 Sundays after that, I go to church, it's too much. And not just go to church. I start to really follow more God's words. That's when I start to read the Bible. I never read the Bible before. I just start after that happened. Listen music is, start to change my lifestyle and start to pay more attention God's words. And this was like that day. That day was the day I decided, okay, I need to get back to God. And then after that, I have one more episode. Was try to fly a week after. And I have a panic attack. I couldn't get in the airplane. I felt terrible because I'm really professional. I feel like my word is the most important thing in the world. And then I give my word for a guy, one of my best friend, Leo. I will teach a seminar in his academy. And the fact I couldn't get in the airplane killed me. I'm a super shy guy. You're never going to see me cry. That day, I call him. Crying, really crying, because I say, man, I don't know what to do. I just can't get in the airplane to go for your place. And I know the seminar is tomorrow morning. You don't have time to replace me. But man, I just can't get in the airplane. I don't know what to do. And he right there, hey, I just wanted to be healthy. Stay home. I will find a way. And I definitely messed up. It was a grand opening from his new academy. I was the main guy to teach a seminar. Luckily, Tattoo, my partner, was there and was able to finish the seminar. But that was the reason I didn't go, because the panic attack I have. And then the fact I get close to God and everything, that's start like the only thing making me calm down if I stop and pray. All the time I stop and pray, the panic go away, any problem go away. And that was crazy. How important was God in that type of my life. I have a few guys. JP was really important because he was the person who opened my eyes for that. Maybe if he doesn't show up in there and pray, the anxiety I have was go away and I just go back to normal life. But the fact he was there pray make me feel like that's what I need. And that just give me, and I really think God was there, because like, why JP call me? He never called me. Why he called me on that time? Exactly the time I have the anxiety happening. Wasn't an hour late. It was 2 hours late. It was in the time that happened. Yeah. And then that just tell me, okay, I need you. God tried to talk to me. I need to follow. That was when everything changed. That was that day, right?
Yeah, God definitely put you guys on my heart that morning, and so to the point where I was like, okay, I can't ignore this. Not that I wanted to or would ignore it, but just like, that was a prompting from the Holy Spirit of like, hey, you need to reach out. And
before, I have another thing I like to share with you. I'm not going to say name because that guy is my student. He's still my student. I don't want to say his name. I don't want to make him embarrassed. But you remember, you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to start talking. You're going to remember. 2 years before, I wasn't that close to God. JP is really close to God. That's mean like, okay, God's talking by him, and that was the Holy Spirit like try to help me, I was in Brazil. Every year I go to Brazil. When I go to Brazil, I try to forget my American life, right? I don't answer my phone. I don't help I put some instructor to teach here. I really go to there. I forget about my life. I go 1 month for vacation. I go deep on my vacation. I don't care. If the gym getting fired, I will take care when I get it back. I'm not going to try to do anything from there because the honestly, like, I can't do nothing from there. I will forget about whatever happened here. When I get it back, I deal with the problems. I went to Brazil. 2 weeks before, one of my students got a divorce from his wife. Okay, but that guy, we've been talking. I was the closest person for that guy. He keep calling me. We have a nice conversation. He has 3 kids. All his 3 kids train with me, you know. And then we have a really nice conversation. Try to help him. Hey, man, be strong for your kids. Focus on them. Forget about your wife. Problems happen, you know. Maybe that's the best for you guys, you know. And we've been talking. I don't know why. My Christmas day is December 24. 2023, that was the day. Okay, it's crazy busy. My daddy coming to town. I need to see my daddy. I need to see my wife family. I need to see my mom family. Like, I have no time to thinking about anything. My day on December 24th is crazy busy. As I'm taking a shower from one party to the other party, that guy come on my mind. I say, you know what? I'm gonna call him. And I just call him. Grab my phone in Brazil. I say, I think I need to call him. I pay extra money. I make good money, but I hate to expend money for no reason. And I decide to call him from there. Hey, bro, how you doing? He didn't say one word. I just hearing he's just noise, you know, like no word for 5 minutes. Hey, bro, you all right? You want to talk? Let me know what you need, bro. I'm here, you know. He say, after maybe 1 or 2 minutes silence, just hearing he crying on the phone, you just saved my life. Say, what are you talking about? I got a goosebump just to talk about. I'm in my living room with my gun inside my mouth, and then you call me. I put my gun down just because I saw your name. If any other person in the world call me, I will not answer. And then you call me, and then I decide to answer. I said, man, you can't do that. You have 3 kids. Don't do it. He say, don't worry, coach. I will not do it. I see God talk about you. Thank you so much to call me. And man, that day, I'm not kidding. Like I said, man, God uses people to talk. Yeah. You know, that day, that guy will kill himself. And that's okay. He decided to end his life. But man, think about his 3 kids. He has 2 daughters and 1 son. The son is 12, 13 maybe now. The one daughter is 7. The other one is 10, you know. And then I said, man, look at how miserable would be the life for those 3 kids, you know. Lost the daddy, they commit suicide, you know. It's like not just like commit suicide is a bad to know, like my daddy commit suicide. And as a young kid, you can think, oh, that was my fault. I wasn't a good kid. You know. I do remember when my parents got divorced. Nothing relate with me. Of course, I was 3 years old, but I do remember as a 4 years old, has the thought like maybe my daddy got divorced from my mommy because I didn't behave good, and have that on my mind, making me really depressed. Like not depressed. It was young kid, but sad. Like all the time I thought about that and think like about maybe those kids gonna think, oh, you know, I could help my daddy somehow. And man, I'm really glad that they make that phone call. And then like that guy, every single time he see me, and he told that he got it back to his wife. They back together. Was amazing.
Praise the Lord.
Yes. And then every single time he see me, he tell for his kids, you know, that day Daddy almost did a big mistake. The son, who is older now, 13, 14, he tell exactly the whole history, whole fact, what happened. And he said, you guys need to say thank you every single day you see Formiga for me to be here. That was like really, really strong. That was unbelievable what happened. I was so happy to be there, used by God to be there. Person to stop that happening.
You know, and that's why the Bible tells us to hold every thought captive. And the Holy Spirit 100%. Was speaking to you. Yes. And that's why we have to listen. You know, we have to listen. Man, thank you for sharing that. That's and I love that guy. Yes. And I'm so thankful that you listened. So thank you.
Yep.
So you've accomplished so many things in jiu-jitsu and life. You have a great marriage, you know, beautiful wife, beautiful kids, you know, your bills are taken care of. You have good, reliable vehicles. You have a successful school. You know, a very, very top-ranked, accomplished jiu-jitsu practitioner. Like, there's not a lot of people that have those types of statistics that you have in regards to just championships and, you know, everything else. What, like, why do you keep driving and pushing? And what's next for you?
Okay. I think the thing make me love jiu-jitsu the most is competition side, you know, and that's the fact. Like the way I love competing, keep it driving me to be better, you know. I think maybe if I stop competing today, I will not be the same person anymore. I will change my personality because like that's what making me keep it moving.
Yeah,
you know,
I get it.
How many times you guys wake up 6 a.m. and say, I want to sleep 30 more minutes? Like, I do that every day.
Every
right?
morning?
Every morning.
Yeah.
It's like every morning. Doesn't matter if I wake up 6 or if I wake up 10, I still always want to sleep 30 more minutes. Always. You know, right?
I'm so glad you said that.
Yes.
It
Like,
makes me feel a lot better about myself.
yeah.
Right?
And then I didn't know that until a few years. What we have is a discipline, right? In my mind, I just like I'm hungry to be a champion. No, I always a really disciplined guy. You know, like I will do anything to get on my goal. My goal is become a champion from that competition. I'm gonna train it double. I'm gonna train triple. I'm gonna do whatever I need to do to become the champion. You know, I think that's what that keeping me motivated competing.
Yeah.
And that keep me motivated to keep teaching, and that keep motivating me to be a good father, be a good, leader, good whatever, I think that's like everything really, my life is, I can tell I do have a jiu-jitsu lifestyle.
Yeah.
Maybe I have a life around jiu-jitsu maybe, because like everything in my life is building around jiu-jitsu. Example, I go to Cancun tomorrow, let's say. Okay, I'm not going, but let's say I go. You know what I'm doing before I go to Cancun? I will call a couple places in there and say, hey guys, I'm going to Cancun. You guys want a seminar by me? And then that's what. I'm going for vacation, but I find a way to work, make money. That way I pay the vacation. It's amazing. And then, but I still make it network. I still make money. I still work on jiu-jitsu. I still learn it, share my knowledge, That's the one way. Other thing, most of my friends go to the bar, hang out, right? You know how I met my friends?
At the gym.
In the gym.
Yeah.
One time I see my wife talk with somebody's wife, or her best friend's wife, okay? Her husband, he has a pagode, he play like music with friends, They go to the bar, drinking, play music, that's what he do for live. Where he met his friends on the bar. And his wife, he always met, my husband go to the bar, he drink, has a lot of chickens, want to be around him. And then she always worried about, he's a nice guy, he doesn't do anything wrong, but she always worried about. And my wife said, I'm so locked in that side. My husband, all the time he want to see his friends, he go lifting, he go training, and then making him look even better, And also, I don't need to worry about the chickens. Never have any chicken around. There always a bunch of men sweating, disgusting, and then I don't need to worry about. And that's true. That's true.
That's amazing. What's the what's the best thing that we can do to help support your business, Double Five? Just what you do.
Keeping telling about how good jiu-jitsu in your life. That's it.
Cool.
If each person, that's why I tell my guys all the time, people ask me, hey, how can you help? Talk about how jiu-jitsu help your life in some. I can guarantee every single person gonna have one example how important jiu-jitsu for that person. If you start to tell more about how important jiu-jitsu in your life, they're gonna touch somebody around you. I can guarantee. Can be, oh man, you know what? I'm 300 pounds last year. I started jiu-jitsu. Now I'm 220 pounds. I lost 80 pounds in 1 year. Maybe we're going to share that history for 200 people. 2 guys going to say, man, that's what I need. You know? Other case, like, man, I was depressing, no friends. I joined Jiu-Jitsu Academy. Now I have a bunch of friends. Yeah. That can touch other person, Somebody, I looking for a girlfriend, and then I decide to join Jiu-Jitsu, and I find a girlfriend. Whatever reason, that can be the reason.
And then, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, and then for women, training just the confidence and the ability to defend themselves.
I can go deep on that part. Like, I have a 12 years old son, 8 years old daughter, okay? My wife asked me, what do you want to do with the kids about jiu-jitsu? I say, I'm not going to push hard. They can do whatever they want. But it will be mandatory both training jiu-jitsu until they get a purple belt. Why purple belt? I believe as a purple belt, you can take care about yourself against any person in the world. Yeah. If you have purple belt skill, if somebody way bigger than you try to fight you, you're going to be able to take care about yourself. Yeah. And for my daughter, I go even further. Say, my son, if he grow up 12, 15, 16 years old as a blue belt, want to quit, it's okay. If I see he doing well, he learning already, I'm taking. But my daughter, she will do everything supposed to do. Because if any guy, any boy try to mess with her, touch her any inappropriate way, she will be able to destroy the guy.
Oh, yeah.
And that's my goal. For any woman in the world, if I can give advice, find a Jiu-Jitsu academy and train Jiu-Jitsu. And don't worry about self-defense. Jiu-Jitsu is already self-defense.
Yeah.
We do teach self-defense inside Jiu-Jitsu. But if you know sport Jiu-Jitsu, combat Jiu-Jitsu, whatever, you're going to know how to defend
You're
yourself.
gonna know enough.
Exactly.
Yeah. Good luck to any guy that tries to mess with Heike, because not only is she going to handle it, you know, the Dinnell twins are going to be on the hunt. Cora might murder somebody.
Yes.
Cora and Nola, if something happened to Heike, I mean, obviously nothing bad will ever happen because she's protected by, just she is protected from her angels and the prayers that you have over your family. And I think that's important also, just to cover your family in prayer. That's what we did at your house that day. It was like, nope, we're going to pray over the property, the house, and, but I'm just thinking, I'm like, man, like Cora, Nola, you're burning the city down.
Yep.
Cool. Awesome. Lucas, any big questions for Formiga?
I've got two. First, and hopefully this will be a quick one because this has been something that's always intrigued me. Where did the name Double Fives come from?
Nice. Good question.
Thank you.
Yes. 5 years ago, Keenan Cornelis started that big thing about between Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and American Jiu-Jitsu, right? I'm against all that bullshit. In my opinion, it's all bullshit. We do Jiu-Jitsu. Doesn't matter who is create. American, Japanese, Brazil, whatever. In Brazil, we don't call Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. We call Jiu-Jitsu, right?
Yeah.
Here, US, we call Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But in Brazil, every single person who say, I do Jiu-Jitsu, just Jiu-Jitsu. Nobody say, I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, okay? And then that become a big thing. That was like 5 years ago. In the punch, people start to fight for that, right? No, I do American Jiu-Jitsu. No, I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I don't care what you do. I do Jiu-Jitsu, and I want to keep doing Jiu-Jitsu. And I want to somehow just say something relate to Brazil, but I don't want to say Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And then we start to thinking about names. Okay, how we can do names, And also we think about the logo. And I want some number on the logo because I do think it's cool having numbers with the logo.
Yeah.
And then in Jiu-Jitsu is something coming. We do compete in division in open class. And when you win division in open class, we say, I want double gold, right? And the double gold, I feel really cool to say, I want double gold.
Yeah.
And then we try to find something relay about numbers, Brazil, and then we say, okay, why we don't use the numbers? And then we want to have the area code to call Brazil is 5-5.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
If you from US you want to call somebody in Brazil, you need to type it 5-5,
Yeah,
and then
the international
number. Yes,
code.
the international code. Yes,
Yeah, +5.
Exactly. And then we say, you know what? Why we don't use +5-5? They're gonna be related to Brazil, but nobody knows if you don't tell. That way nobody can be mad, because I always worry about people. Oh, you see that Brazilian guy, I always try to bring to Brazil something, And then we decide to say, okay, you know what? Let's do 5-5, and then but the 55 number doesn't make any sense. And then we say, why we don't call double five? Because the double gold, say, oh, that look cool. And then that's why I end up a bigger double five.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. That's so cool. So my next question is, you said if Dedeco lived an hour away, you would drive to go see him every day. Mm-hmm. Is there somebody, locally that, because like JP said, you're that guy for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And that's why so many people come and cross train at our gym. And it's why I'm terrified to come train at our gym, right? So when you look at the landscape in DFW, we got a lot of gyms that are coming up. Like, who are the guys right now that you really enjoy training with, that challenge you?
Yeah, we do have a bunch of black belt who's cross training with us, right? I do love the new generation guys, okay? Yeah. The guys, first I do respect the guys, they make the time to come cross-train with us. Like, that just tell me they really want to push, right? I have there a couple guys I can say name, like they always come train with us. Lucas is one from Cicero Costa, he train with us. I have another one, Fabrício, he's also from Cicero Costa, he train with us as well. Ian Picapau, definitely is the best who's training with us. He's from 60 Blade. He's the guy who's humble me up every single day. He always like, remember me, like, be a black belt long time doesn't mean anything when you got some young guy with a lot of like hungry to become the guy, and that help like make it hard, And then that's another guy, we have the guys from us, Diogo Moreno, João, the girls, Daisy, Victoria, we have like a lot of big names, those are the guys. Now, the fact I don't have a coach anymore, I mean, I do have coach, but not daily. Yeah. I use those guys to chat, okay, what do you think I did wrong? And then they say, well, I like that position, can you help me? And then, I like this, I don't like that, And then that's the way we sharp our game now, Like, I don't have my coach daily see me, but I have those guys to exchange message, talk, and then, like, those guys help me to sharp my game, I help them to sharp the game.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome, the culture that Formiga has developed at Double Five, having all these different gyms, cross-training and top-level guys, which has been incredible. So, before I close it out with some final thoughts, I want to thank you for taking the time.
Welcome.
I know time is very valuable to you, so thank you. So before I close it out with some final thoughts, obviously want to thank all of you guys for listening. The support that each of you guys give us by listening, sharing, subscribing, commenting is huge on the different platforms. Social media is huge. When you guys take screenshots of your phone and or YouTube and tag us and then share it, that actually helps boost our ratings every single time.
And it's super encouraging.
Yeah, thank you. And and the comments that you guys have and the questions you guys have helps us as well. So make sure you guys are subscribed on YouTube so you can be notified when those YouTube exclusive Q&A sessions come out. Yep. If you want to follow us on social media, I'm at JP Dinnell, 2 N's, 2 L's. Lucas is at Lucas Pinkard, Lucaspinckard. Formiga is at Rafael _Formiga. So that's at RAFAEL _FORMIGA. And then also make sure you're following us at Double Five. So that's at Double Five Jiu-Jitsu _HV. So DOUBLEFIVEJIUJITSU _HV. That's the proper way to spell jiu-jitsu, FYI, y'all. Make sure you're also following us at Echelon Front. Go to echelonfront.com, click on events, see what events that we have coming up. Also, if you want some more information for any of the instructors to come work with you, make sure you guys are also checking out Extreme Ownership Academy. We have a lot of new I'm drawing a blank. We have a lot of new stuff coming out on there. So make sure you guys are checking out both of those. I'm a part of a ministry that Formiga has been also helping us out with, to the point where people actually think he's a part of the ministry, which he is. He's not on the board, but he's part of the ministry. And all of our brothers that have been to Pursuit that help with the ministry, they are all a part of the ministry. So thank you, Formiga, for your support with Jesus and Jiu-Jitsu. But if you want to check us out, go to at Jesus and Jiu-Jitsu _USA. We have a podcast that comes out every Tuesday. We're also doing events every 4 to 6 weeks at different gyms. We start off with a free jiu-jitsu seminar. Somebody shares their testimony, and then we open it up for the open mat with good training. The next one is going to be, I believe, is July 20th at Formiga's gym. Pedro Rocha, yes, however you want to say it. I will be teaching. It's going to be a no-gi jiu-jitsu seminar. We will have the rash guards. The rash guards, I think, are being mailed today to us.
That's what I'm talking
about. A few weeks from now, by the time you're listening to it, we have the rash guards. So we'll have them available on our website and also in person, but it'll be a no-gi jiu-jitsu seminar, which is going to be awesome. And then I believe he's got to confirm, but my pastor, Pastor Tyron, from Milestone, is going to be sharing his testimony. So that's going to be, he's incredible. Also partner with a Texas beef company called Little Cattle Co.
Get that beef.
Yeah, dog. My best friend Stephen Little started it back in 2017. My wife and I partner with them in 2023. Go to littlecattle.co. It's just like our name, but as a website. We can deliver anywhere in the lower 48 states. We're a custom order beef company, which means that you can order exactly what you want every single time. You want 10 ribeyes? Cool. You want 2 ribeyes, a tomahawk, and some of the new body butter beef tallow products that we have? We can do that as well. It's just based off of your family needs. The sirloins are unreal, so don't order all those because those are mine. Anyways, we also have we also have the picanha.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's what I want. Because
Yes, we got it coming to you. We also have a ground beef subscription plan. I know Lucas is a part of that.
Yep.
Make
20
sure,
pounds a month.
make sure you're getting that ground beef every single month. Helps with meal prep and just helps you budget and plan for what you're going to be spending on food. We also launched a new beef tallow products, which include body butter, tallow cream, and lip balm. The feedback we're getting is absolutely incredible. So, I personally can also tell you, I've used the products. They're awesome. I don't wear sunscreen because I always burn, I always burn no matter what. So why am I going to put chemicals on me? And every time I've been getting sunburnt or, been out in the sun a lot, I just put the beef tallow on afterwards. And I don't peel, I don't blister. I'm good. It's literally healed the next day. So it's been pretty awesome.
I like that lesson.
Yes. So, and also if you want to order any of our products, and send it as, send to your customers and clients, custom orders, we can help you show them appreciation. Also, partner with my best friend, Josh Strasburger, a printing company called On the Path Printing. Check us out on Instagram at On the Path Printing. Just send us a message if you have any apparel printing needs. Also partner with Jocko and Leif with a company called Bruiser Arms. Check us out on Instagram at Bruiser Arms. Leif and I will be putting out some more content very soon. I don't know if I can say his name, but let's just say it's a very recognizable name in the jiu-jitsu world, especially the no-gi jiu-jitsu world, especially ADCC. Can maybe come off as pretty arrogant, but he is one of the best. Some might refer to him as the king, but that's all I'm going to say. He is getting one of our packages for gear right now. Nice. He's getting a custom kit built from Leif and the guys down in Dripping Springs for Bruiser Arms, weapons kit, and then we're going to be putting together some custom training. So,
can you ask him if that's his natural hair color?
Yeah, I don't think, considering it changes constantly.
I'm just asking.
But you're just giving me another little hint for who we're talking about. Also, as always, want to thank all the support Origin and Jocko Fuel has given us over the years that I've known them. What they're doing is absolutely incredible. If you want to just learn more about what they have going on, if you want to get some of the best jiu-jitsu gear and regular clothes, I mean, the fact that all their clothes are 100% American made here in America is awesome. Go to originusa.com, go to jockofuel.com to get those supplements, clean energy drinks. Before I close it out, Formiga, do you have any final closing thoughts? Obviously, I know you want to thank your wife for all the support. I love when you talk about your wife and the support she gives you, because it's very apparent your guys' relationship and just love for each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely thank her for everything, to be my number one support, number one fan. She believes in me more than I believe in myself, 100%. I'm going to talk a little bit about Jiu-Jitsu. Okay. Jiu-Jitsu is not easy. It is hard. Every day a challenge. You never know what's coming. You don't know if you're going to go to the gym and beat everybody, or you're going to get in there, get beat up by everybody. But the only thing I can promise you, if you don't stop training, if you keep coming, if you keep pushing, you're going to get in there. My suggestion, that's the secret I did my whole life. Never quit. Always there. Always do my best. And never compare myself with anybody. That definitely helped me a lot, I do compare myself like, can I work more than this guy working? But I'm not trying to be like this guy. I'm trying to be like good like him, but not him. I want to be me on my way, but I'm copy them the way they doing. Like I always, that guy is really good. I want to be, what he doing? He train 3 times a week, 3 times a day. I will train 3 times a day. Oh, that guy is nice. Okay, what he done? Oh, he do physical condition or whatever. My suggestion, see these. Don't try to compare yourself with other people about like, oh, I train with that guy every day. Why he beating me? I'm not beating him. That's not working like that. Just focus on you, do your best, and keep it going. That's the way you're gonna get here where we are.
Awesome, and that applies to every aspect of our lives. So, I hope this episode has been a reminder to go out there and do the work needed and to never settle. This has been the JP Dinnell podcast, episode 39.